What up? It's your boy Storm back again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the fact that you are an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, or the 5 people that you are closest with. Now, I'm sure you've heard this saying before. I've heard it millions of times to the point where I don't even really know who came up with the saying to begin with. But that's what this video is going to be about. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, when I say that you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, if we look at this from a more practical standpoint, you're actually an average of every single person that you interact with and spend time with on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. So regardless of where you are, regardless of what your values are, the people and energy that you spend the most time around is the energy that you slowly start to adopt. Now, a great example of this is if you're someone who recently decided that you were going to try to get healthy, right? You're going to try to get healthy, you're going to try to eat healthier, you're going to eat better, and you're going to start going to the gym and caring about your health and fitness. But you still live at home, and your parents, the people who live in your house, don't really understand and don't really care to understand anything about the lifestyle that you're trying to create for yourself. So they give you one shelf in the fridge that you're able to use, but the rest of the fridge is theirs, right? So on your fridge, you have a bunch of fruits and vegetables, a bunch of healthy foods, things that you can cook, and it makes you proud. But in the rest of the fridge, there might be leftover pizza, 2 liters of Sprite and Coke, whatever the case may be. Now, the overall energy of this fridge is at a certain point based on all of the things that are contained in the fridge, because everything contains energy. Everything contains an energetic resonance, so to speak, regardless of if it's a living thing or an inanimate object. So the overall energy of this fridge is at a certain level. Now, let's say you've been on your grind, you've been going to the gym, and you're opening up that fridge every day after the gym, and every day you open up this fridge, you see your shelf, you see what's on it, and then underneath you see some leftover pizza that was from family pizza night a couple nights ago. Now, you could decide to have a slice and be affected by the people that you spend the most time around in that way, or you could use willpower to say, you know what, I could have a slice, but I'm not going to have one. I'm going to eat this orange instead. Now, you, in that moment, you had to exercise willpower. You had to expend energy to decide not to eat what was readily available and easy to eat in that moment. If we flip the script and say that, let's say the next year you decided to get your own place and you found 3 roommates, you're living in Brooklyn, let's say, and it just so happened that all 3 of your roommates all happen to be vegan. Now, you personally are not vegan at this point, but their whole fridge is filled with fruits, vegetables, plants, living things, things that are healthy for the most part. Now, again, you're not vegan, but opening that fridge now and seeing all of these plants, fruits, vegetables, that's subconsciously going to affect you in a way that when you go to the supermarket, you're going to make healthier decisions. Just subconsciously, you're just going to start to gravitate more towards the green leafy section. You're going to gravitate more towards the produce section. You're probably not going to buy a gallon of milk to put in that fridge, right? Number one, on a conscious level, because you don't want to, it would feel almost rude, right, to buy a gallon of milk and put it in a fridge that was all vegan aside from that, right? But from a subconscious level, you just wouldn't even think of that as an option because you just aren't seeing it anymore because you're around people with a different energy. So your fridge at home was at a certain energetic resonance, and then your fridge with these new vegan roommates is at a different overall energetic resonance, right? So in both cases, the people that you are around or spending time around, those people's energies are affecting your own, and altering your energy, right? This is how you become an average of the 5 people, or of every person that you spend time around. Now, this goes deeper, right? Your friends and family, when you have discussions, when people speak and talk about things, talk about situations, scenarios, ideas, whatever the case may be, if you're around people who are very negative, who are always talking about negative things, slowly but surely you're going to start thinking negative things, or starting to second guess your positive thoughts. If you're around people who are always positive, it's going to be really hard for you to think negative to begin with. So this is really how becoming an average of the people that are around you works. Now, depending on how strong your energy is, or how strong the people around you, how strong their energies are, that's going to determine how much of an effect they can have on you in a certain amount of time. So if you're around someone who has a lot of energy and you're just around them, their energy is going to affect your energy more so than if you're around someone with very low energy, and you're around them for an X amount of time. You'll be affected more by the person with high energy than you would be by the person with low energy. And keep in mind, people who have high energy can either be vibrating high or low, right? Just because your energy amplitude-wise is high doesn't necessarily mean that you're vibrating at a high level. And just because your energy is low doesn't necessarily mean that you're vibrating at a low level. So the amount of energy someone has in that point in time is going to determine how much of an effect they're going to have on you in the amount of time that you spend with them. Personally, I've seen this happen myself. Just with becoming vegan and experiencing what it's like to be vegan in a world that is, for the most part, not. I've noticed that the longer that I've been vegan, the more that my energy increases, the more I'm able to influence others to do the same, not by telling them, hey, you should think about going vegan, or you should try going vegan, or this, that, and the third. Just by virtue of me being around other people who are not vegan, slowly but surely I start to notice that they start to make more health conscious decisions. Whether they're vegan decisions or not, I just notice that my energy is affecting them it's affecting them in a more passive way, as opposed to affecting them in a more active way. So you really do become like the 5 people you spend the most time around. If you're someone who has lived in a scarcity mindset all your life, and you start to spend more time around people who have money, who have abundance, who have wealth, slowly but surely you're going to find that wealth is starting to find you. You're going to find that the decisions you make, the ideas that you receive, are going to be more centered around abundance, right? You're going to go out to a nice dinner and enjoy it and spend money and tip very well on the check, because you're not coming from a space of being scared of not having money anymore, because you're around so much of it that energy of abundance is just spreading, right? So becoming an average of the people that you're around really does work from an energetic standpoint, as opposed to, oh, you're around this person, so you're hearing what they're saying, so you're learning their lessons and becoming like them. That's not really how it works. It's just the transfer of energy. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you guys want more like this one or on this topic, then just comment below, ask questions, and I'll do my best to create more content and explain this further. But you are indeed an average of all of the people that you spend time around. So now that you know this, my recommendation would be try to create more time to spend with yourself. That way you can kind of get an idea of where you are as an individual, and then you'll have a good idea of where you want to go as an individual. Then once you know where you want to go, you'll start to receive ideas, suggestions, and feelings to seek out more people who would resonate with that idea of where you want to be. But until next time, this has been Storm. Peace.